Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Mana Cave. My name is Ed.
My name's Travis.
And I'm probably going to be... may feel like I'm low energy today, but I'm not. I've actually got very high energy, but I'm trying to rest my voice. I did a... this is being released well after it, but I did the first live stream. The first Monday night live stream for the channel. And...
Is that what you're calling it?
Monday night live stream, yeah. And I think it went well. It was a game that obviously is well outside of the norm for the channel, but that's what the streams are most likely going to be. But my voice was starting to go. It was supposed to be a 3-hour stream. It wasn't even supposed to be a very long stream. 3-hour stream. I got 2 hours in and I was like, I could feel my voice starting to go. So
is 3 hours not long for a stream?
No, because I mean, there are streamers that will do it like 8 hours during a day. Now, obviously, that's if you have that time, you're either not working full time for the most part, or you're working full time as a streamer.
Yeah.
So, but I thought 3 hours was going to be like, a nice little, sort of thing. It was going to be from 11 p.m. to 2 in the morning. So kind of weird for people in my time zone, but great for other people in other time zones. But yeah, it was, so I was looking up things online to how to protect your voice a little bit more. And one of the things, we were talking about this off camera, one of the things is caffeine apparently is not great for your voice. So my bloodstream is 80% caffeine at almost any given time because of how much caffeine I normally consume. So I'm going to have to try to maybe relax that a bit and see if that's going to help my voice, because I do want to do more streaming. It was a lot of fun. And maybe one time you'll be able to jump online. Not necessarily, you don't have to be on camera, but we can do some multiplayer or something together.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there's going to be more streams. But that's not what we're doing today, Travis.
No.
And we're not just going to talk, though that's what we're doing right now. Travis?
You.
I like when I throw this to you without discussing it with you first. What are we doing today?
We are doing 1v1 Commander from it was so long ago, let's see if I can remember the name of the set. It's right there in the box. Innistrad Midnight Hunt.
Yes. It's a blast from the past, because this set has now been out for 3 or 4 weeks. So it is ancient by comparison. I'm surprised it's not out of standard at this point, given how
Commander.
Old. Yeah, this is true too. Yeah, so it wouldn't be. Yeah, so there's a bunch of things here that wouldn't be in standard. I meant Midnight Hunt. But what deck do you have?
I have Undead Unleashed. It is the blue-black zombies deck, because I love me some zombies.
You were super excited because
super excited.
You told yourself several times. This is one of the things you've mentioned to me before. You told yourself, I'm not getting another Commander deck.
No more. I'm done. I got enough. I don't get to play the ones I do have. Especially pandemic and all, like, we're getting over it, but things are still not, 100%. So I said, no more. I can't keep doing this to myself.
And when this came out, you're like, are you going to place an order for cards anytime soon? Because I was thinking maybe of getting this deck, and I was like, okay. And I saw it, and I was like, yeah, I can see why you would want that. Because it's a pretty cool deck. And like you mentioned, you were thinking of building a zombie deck anyways.
Yeah.
And this ticked so many of the boxes. Yeah. And yet, even though it was, of the two sold separately, it would be considered the more expensive one that was being sold.
Actually, I believe to date, it is the most card value-wise expensive, or value-wise highest value in the last 5 or so years.
Yeah.
For reprints and everything.
Yeah. So I mean, that's great. Not just for, you get a bit of extra value when you buy it as a deck, but also in the future.
I don't have to pay it. Yeah. If I want to buy those cards, because they're in the deck.
Exactly. So we ended up getting a 2-pack essentially of the 2 new Midnight Hunt decks, and that saved even a little bit of extra money, which is great because we got it. Actually, we got it just before it went on sale.
Yeah.
2 days before it went on sale. But you can't wait forever. So So I have the Coven Counters, I believe it's called, deck, which I don't think is going to fare well against the Sonic. I think it's still going to be a fun little matchup. It is going to be 1v1 Commander, so I want to just mention this
different
right here now. One of the biggest differences, other than the number of players, which is an obvious difference, is the life total. The starting life total for a 1v1 Commander game is 30 instead of 40. Just bringing that up because last time we did a 1v1 Commander sort of series, there were a couple people who were really, really upset about it for some strange reason in the comment section, thinking that we weren't playing by the rules. And if there was 4 players, then we wouldn't have been. But we're going to our starting life totals are 30. So that's pretty much other than that, all the other rules apply. You even get to draw on your starting step, sort of thing like that. So the ban list does not include any of the cards in any of these decks. Even if it did, because we're trying to showcase these decks as well too, we'd probably keep it this way.
100% out of the gate of the deck. I have not added any or removed any cards. Obviously, you can't add without removing. It's 100 cards. That's how it works. But yeah, this is 100% that box deck.
So for those of you who have been asking for some Commander content, I know this is not exactly what you were talking about, but hopefully this sort of maybe scratches that itch a little tiny bit, because chances are we're not going to be buying every single new, because there's none of it's a vampire one, which is
promised myself,
which is super tempting for me right now. I know for you, because you have a vampire deck. I have a deck which can easily be converted into a vampire deck because it's got a ton of vampires, and it's a red black theme.
Angie,
yes, that deck I think would work really well with this other deck. But I'm not gonna buy another construct, because I'm still I don't know for sure. At some point, maybe when it goes on even sale further, get those Pioneer decks to play on the channel. But for the time being, we still got plenty to play. We got the 2019 Challenger decks, which we'll be doing shortly after this. We may eventually one day, when we're in retirement age, finish our Guild Kit Showdown series.
Teasing that now.
I know, yeah. So
maybe.
And then there's other stuff, because we are going to be doing another podcast at some point. I'm going to be trying. Right now, I realize doing a podcast once a month is like, why not wait longer between the podcasts? But it's a scheduling thing, right? So I'm going to try to make them at least monthly. And we do have another podcast that's going to be eventually coming out about party games or games to play with large gatherings. And
cut him off really quickly, because I wanted to, and I'm sure he does too, send a thank you to all the people that did watch the podcast. There were quite a bit, actually.
Yeah. For a video that was, whenever there's a video, there's certain expectations with Magic videos, right? It's like, okay, this is a Magic video. It's what most of the people are here for, sort of thing. So you sort of expect a certain viewership to show up for that. Podcast, first one that we tried, I was actually surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not one of the big boys, obviously, when it comes to podcasts, but for this channel, given what we were talking about, which I think we mentioned Magic for a second at the very beginning, and that's it. I was pretty happy, and I really appreciate the interaction. Even before the podcast, when people were sending in ideas that we were able to use in the podcast. So I will be doing a post for that prior to the other podcast, so you guys can have a chance to give me some ideas that we can maybe mention in the upcoming podcast as well too. And there is going to be, even though it's been taking forever for me to get it out there, I've had nothing but problems with doing the supposed to be Halloween special, the zombie tabletop game that is still coming out, and we are still going to be doing more non-Magic tabletop gaming. If it was up to me, and if I lived in a perfect world where I had 4 or 5 people on tap at any given time who were willing to come in, I would do nothing but board games, like just constantly. We would get to throw Commander in there, because then we'd have enough people. But I would just start grabbing these board games and be like, this is what we're playing today, this is what we're playing today, and I would record that. But it's hard enough sometimes, even though Travis is extremely generous with his time and his schedule. It's hard enough for me to be able to record one-on-one with Travis. So being able to get a group of people to play a board game is a pipe dream at this point. But who knows, maybe in the future. But that's also one of the reasons why I want to do the streaming, because that's something I can just sit down, interact with you guys directly, sort of thing, and give you hopefully something that you'll enjoy. Now, before we begin, I know we've been talking for a while, I do want to give shout-outs, because, as it was pointed out to me, I did not do shout-outs in the last Mana Cave.
It was a popular option right off the bat.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It was one of those things where it was the second recording. Usually by the second recording, we're like, we want to be done and go home. Well, I'm already home, but Travis wants to go home. So I completely forgot. So this time we do have shout-outs. Would you like that extra long dramatic pause in there?
Is he doing it there or after the pause? Because
I'm going to have to keep making that pause longer and longer. So it's going to be like a 5-minute pause in about a year or two. So I'm giving shout-outs. This is to make up for the fact that there was no shout-outs. This is going to be a rapid-fire, multiple shout-out to the folks who not just came out to the stream, but were kind enough to say hi, participate, leave comments, what have you. So this goes to Michelson G, Roland K, Keyplatz, Luke Stange, or Stange, I'm not sure which, but I talked about this on the stream. He's been commenting for at least a year, maybe more. I always read his name in my mind as Luke Strange. He said, because it sounds like such a great superhero name, but it's not. And it was weird because I even gave him a shout out in a previous video and said Luke Strange. I'm almost 100% sure I did. So Luke Strange, so sorry about that, or Stange. Taboo X, longtime viewer.
Oh, yeah.
Like one of the ones where you go to the comment section and he's there almost every single, no pressure on you. You're like, take a day off if you want, like, by all means. But Taboo was there and he was kind of leave a comment. And Kent Rilbug 1. You'll see why I'm having trouble pronouncing it, because it's obviously, I don't think it's a real name. If it is, maybe he's a clone and he's like the prime, because it ends with a 1. It ends with a number. So that's very rare in human beings. But yeah, so all of you, I want to give you shout outs. And as well too, I do realize there are folks lurking. When I typically like watch streams, I very rarely do I participate in the chat.
That's what you call it? Lurking? Is that your like derogatory term for it?
No, it's not. It's a derogatory. It's a perfectly acceptable term.
I don't watch a lot of streams and stuff like that, so this is all kind of alien world to me. But so lurking, if you don't participate
and you just watch, you're considered a lurker.
It's a negative word.
Well, no,
it just sounds
not
awful.
In that context. Stalking would be it would be a negative term. Lurking, not so much. There were other folks there that were obviously lurking that didn't drop by and say, and that's perfectly fine. Whatever makes you feel comfortable, that's fine with me. But these are the folks who were kind enough to actually keep me company a little bit while I was playing, and there we go. Now, I mentioned at the beginning of this that I actually wanted to rest my voice up a little bit, so I'm going to stop talking now.
Way to go, Ed.
And we're gonna roll to see who goes first.
I'm guessing at some point we're going to have to show opening hands that we haven't.
Oh, that's right. As we've been talking, our opening hands have been shown. So you folks will now have a chance to see what our opening hands are. And now that you've seen the opening hands, we are going to roll to see who goes first.
Dun, 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 dun.
Beat 10.
Wow, I did not.
Yes, I think it's the first roll I've won in ages. Now, before we begin as well, too, one last note about this. Because this is a game where we're starting off with 30 life total, it may be longer, may be shorter, I'm not sure. But regardless, it is just going to be a one-up. It's not going to be a best 2 out of 3. It's going to be winner takes all, just because I have a feeling this may go on a little bit longer. And then it's going to be a 20-minute game, so yeah. I'll be proven wrong. But still, I get to go first. Now, Commander rules, I do get to draw right off the bat. Boom.
Boom.
That's something you get to do. I'm going to play a card, which may be kind of bold, but it's a Plains. Produces white mana. And that's about it. Pass to you.
All right, I'll draw. I'm going to play a swamp. Also bold. I don't know if you noticed this, but every single basic land in these decks, I believe, has the same art. So if you have 5 or 6 swamps, they all have the same art.
Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure I noticed that when I was looking through it. We'll find out, I guess.
Oh, but, yeah. So if you have, like, maybe multiple planes, they're going to have the same artwork.
Yeah. I think it's kind of neat. I mean, some people, like, maybe it makes sense to have a better variety of art, but I like the consistency of the look. More bold, uniform, like, like a team of swamps.
I mean, there is something like where you have, I can't remember what it is. There's some sort of
OCD.
Well, there is that as well too, right? But apparently, it can actually give your opponent advantages if you have multiple different looking art, because they can know. I can't remember what it was.
I know you got one more swamp in that deck, because I saw this art earlier.
Yes, that's right. That sort of thing.
It's like that's minuscule advantage.
That's super deep for what we do here on the Mana Cave, but
I do pass through because it has nothing to do with my one swamp of various.
So for those of you who saw my opening hand, you might have seen this forest for sure, but you might have seen a fatal flaw that I didn't notice until just now. So yeah, we're gonna move on. We're gonna pass it to you, but I'm now. You're
a bounce land, but nothing to play before you can do the bounce land. Have to discard a card. Commander, that's Commander right there.
You'll see.
Wow, I'm drawing a lot of land here, but I will this time play a swamp, and then I'll pass.
Are you going to play a swamp?
Well, I mean, swamps are watery, and it's a water source.
It's a water. It looks dark, and
It does look very dark.
Yeah,
so,
and it's beside a swamp. So at what point are they going to merge together and just either become
Bayou?
Yeah.
Is that what they call it? No, Bayou was black-green, I think. One of the old school, like, dual lands that are worth $1 million now that I'll never actually see a copy of in my life.
Whew.
You got a 2-drop? So you can do your...
Canopy Vista. It is a land, it's a forest or a plains. You can tap it for green or white, and it enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or more basic lands. So, that gives me a second green source.
Okay.
Which is very useful for me because I'm going to tap for 2 green and 1 of whatever and bring out Champion of Lamholt, which is a double green card. And creatures with power less than Champion Lamholt's power can't block creatures I control. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under my control, put a +1/+1 counter on Champion of Lamholt.
Such a good card. So glad you got that out.
And I got that up because I have a second green source, which I definitely thought of ahead of time, keeping this hand. Pass it to you.
Okay.
Now, you are a blue-black deck, so, I mean, there's not usually a lot of counter spells in Commander, but there's definitely removal.
Played a swamp. And yes, it is, in fact, the second art. I'm going to tap all 3 for the card that's going to make this game awesome.
Okay.
Curse of the Restless Dead. Enchantment Aura Curse. Enchant player. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under enchanted player's control, you create a 2/2 black zombie creature token with Decayed. I mean, Decayed is not awesome, but good luck with that awesome landfall on you.
So Decayed now, if I remember correctly, they can't block and they die after they attack, or you sacrifice it after it attacks. Correct?
Something like that.
Okay,
the token.
So I'm now cursed with the Restless Dead.
Yeah, but that was
that's when the land comes into play.
Yeah, whenever you landfall, man, landfall me.
I can win this game with 3 land. I'm confident.
You sure?
Yeah.
Got a Champion Lamholt there. That's my whole turn.
Oh man.
Okay. Do it. I'm just gonna get a token ready here for no reason. He's gonna play a land.
I'm going to. Yeah, screw it. I'm gonna play a land. So I'm sure you have tokens in that deck for that.
They did provide me with a zombie token. Another thing to note is they can't. Pardon me, my voice is going on here and I didn't even stream. They can't block. Decayed. This creature can't block when it attacks. Sacrifice it at the end of combat. So not even at the end of turn. So you can do some like post shenanigans. It has to be at the end of combat.
Okay. I'm gonna tap for 2 green and then 2 of whatever to play another double green card, which by no means kept in a hand with only 1 green source. It is Kerbis Harvest Celebrant. It's a legendary treefolk creature. When it enters the battlefield, it enters with a number of +1/+1 counters on it equal to the amount of mana spent to cast it. So I spent 4 mana to cast it, so it's going to have 4 +1/+1 counters on it. Remove a +1/+1 counter from Kerbis to prevent all damage that would be dealt this turn to another target creature with a +1/+1 counter on it. Now, just so happens, because another creature has entered the battlefield under my control, I put a +1/+1 counter on the champion.
I thought for a second there it might be destroy target artifact or enchantment by removing that one counter. I'm like, come on.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I would much rather that at this point.
At this point, yeah.
Now, because it can't block, I am gonna go. It can't block, right?
Can't block.
Okay, so that is something that I'm not just making up in my head. I'm gonna move to attack.
All right, since it can't block, I will drop down to 28.
Okay, so that is my turn, and I'm going to pass the turn now to you.
We're untapping. Drawn. And I'm going to play another swamp.
Nice.
Same art.
Very nice. Now that only comes into effect when I play a land, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So now, do I want to run my commander out? I'm going to assume there's not a ton of removal in his deck. Not that there's not any. The commander decks that now are well built with plenty of removal. But we're going to do it anyway. So I'm going to tap 4, pardon me. 1 blue, 1 black, 2 of anything, to play my commander with the Rot Cleaver. So he's a 3/3 zombie warrior. Whenever another zombie I control dies, if it didn't have Decayed, which he does, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token with Decayed. And at the beginning of my end step, I may sacrifice a zombie. If I do, draw a card.
Now that does include 1 with Decay.
Yes.
Yeah. So
it's nice. I mean, you get a sacrifice, but I don't get that value from him.
Yeah.
But he can't block, and he can't attack well into a 4/4. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I will be able to draw a card without, end steps. I'm not sure what timing would work out there, but we are going to go to my end step.
Okay.
And I'm going to sacrifice my 2/2 zombie because that's what you should do. To draw a card.
Nice.
And pass to you.
Pass to me. Okay, so I'm going to untap.
You've got a lot more power going on this thing for having only a 30 life total and no other players to focus that power on. So as cool as my zombie shenanigans might be,
All right. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to play a land at this point. I'm going to tap for 4 though, and I'm going to bring out my commander. So my commander is Leonore, I believe is how you pronounce her. I have a little niece named Leonore. Cute as a button. Holy terror. And she's not even talking yet. But man, when that kid can talk, her mother's in for an earful. Coven. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature you control. Then, if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, draw a card. So, it enters the battlefield. This is going to get a +1/+1 counter. So now I have a power of 3, a power of 4, and a power of 0. So at the beginning of combat, I can put a +1/+1 counter on 1 target creature I control. And I'm actually going to go ahead and put that on her, because it's not other. Then, if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, draw a card. So then I'm going to draw a card. It's getting very difficult not to play any more land, so I may end up having to do that at some point, but I'm going to hold off for now. I'm going to move to combat.
Okay.
Now, I don't think you're willing to give up your commander quite yet. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to swing in with a 3/3, and I'm going to swing in with a 4/4.
Even if I was to say, you know what, that champion land hole is terrible, I'm going to block there and then recast later on, you can just take a counter off and then prevent that damage.
Oh, that's right. I didn't even think of that when I swung in there.
So this will hurt as 7 damage, I believe.
7 damage, yeah, but you get 30 life. Well, not anymore.
Not anymore. I'm 21, actually.
But this should make you feel a little bit better, because I am going to play a land, a command tower.
Bloop, bloop, bloop.
I seriously have been thinking of just hanging on, but at a certain point, it's like I have to play something, right? So that's what I'm going to do. And pass the turn to you.
Alrighty. Untap. Oh, I really do need something good here. What was that? That ain't half bad right there. We will play... Actually, you know what? We're going to switch things up here with an unclaimed territory. It's a land. An unclaimed territory enters the battlefield. Choose a creature type. Zombies. I can tap it for color, so I can tap it to add 1 mana of any color. Spend this mana only to cast creature spells of the chosen type.
Nice.
But also, you know, it's got plain old mana, which is pretty handy too.
Yeah.
So I can generate... Yes, I can do this. Okay, so we're going to tap black and then tap 4 to cast Dark Salvation. To sorcery, target player creates X 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. Then up to 1 target creature gets -1/-1 till the end of turn for each zombie that player controls.
Okay, folks, Ed here. I just need to interrupt the gameplay because we make a bit of a snafu. Well, to be more correct, I make Travis make a bit of a snafu. We had a bit of a discussion about the wording of this card. I thought, or interpreted it as, a player is targeted. They create a certain number of zombies, and then a creature that belongs to that player must then get -1/-1 for each zombie that player controls. Whereas in reality, one player will create a number of zombies based on how much mana was dumped into the spell, and then a target creature, separate from the actual target of the spell, gets -1/-1 for every zombie that the target player controls. However, since I misinterpreted it and Travis sort of went along with my interpretation of the card, he ends up doing something here which otherwise he would not have done, which is target his own creature. So, in case you're wondering why he made this mistake, it was because of me and the fact that we didn't stop and look up the rule online. So remember, always do that if you're not sure, if you have the time, and especially if you're going to be recording this and showing it to other people. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, let's get back to the gameplay.
But actually, I will target this zombie.
Makes more sense.
Because then when he dies, I do get another...
Exactly, because that is a non-decayed... There we go. Easy.
That worked out.
See, so it does work out well for your deck. So.
Yeah. All right. That is, yeah.
And this way as well, too, you also get to keep the one up that doesn't have summoning sickness. So.
Yeah. But I can't remember. We're attacking to a 1/4. 1, 2, 3. I'm always worried about drawing past 7. I'm nowhere near there yet. I'm going to go to my end step. I should keep my 1 zombie around who can actually block. So should I sacrifice one of these guys to draw a card? I think so, because I do need answers that aren't not blocking guys.
Yes.
So on the end step, I will sacrifice the guy who just came back again to draw a card.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
My turn?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to do this. This has currently got 1 power, 4 power, 3 power.
You got your Coven.
I'm going to tap for green and 1 of whatever to cast Gyre Sage. It has Evolve. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, if that creature has greater power or toughness than this creature, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. You can tap it to add 1 green for each +1/+1 counter on Gyre Sage. It is a creature that enters the battlefield, so I'm going to put a +1/+1 counter on Champion of Lambhold. So now it's 4/4. This is a 4/4, so these share power. These share power as well, too. So I currently don't have Coven. But I'm now going to move to combat. And at the beginning of combat, I'm going to put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature I do control. So I'm going to put a +1/+1 counter on this, giving it 2 power. Then, if I control 3 or more creatures with different powers, draw a card. And I do now.
Yeah.
This is going to be really difficult for me to keep track of because I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed when it comes to stuff like this. Okay, I can definitely see... I haven't had a chance to play with this deck yet. So just seeing some of the cards, I'm like, oh, okay, a lot of this is starting to make a lot of sense to me. Think now that it's combat phase, I'm going to...
I believe I can't block anyway, can I? Because now
not with those ones, no, yeah. But
well,
you can still block the other ones. So I'm going to swing in with the 2 4/4s.
But because of Champion Lambhold says that creatures with power...
Oh, yes, yeah.
Less than.
Power less can't block creatures I control.
Yeah.
Creatures I control. Oh, okay, so that's great then. I thank you, Travis, for playing my deck better than I
You can throw your commander in that action now too?
No, just because I want to hold my commander back. It's still a decent blocker. So
Right. So I can't block, which
okay.
is pretty sweet. Survivor was hoping for that Champion Lambhold. Maybe I should just give you some zombies. Wouldn't have killed him at that point anyway. So this is still once again 7 damage.
Yes.
Okay. I dropped down to 14.
So I am still, I mean, there's still something we said for not playing any more land, but I'm actually going to do that anyways. I'm going to play a plane, so that is going to trigger, and you are going to get a zombie.
Love it. Which is getting more value out of them, but they're there.
So that leaves me 4 mana, and I'm going to just pass turn to you.
Okay. Untap. I do kind of need a certain card here, and that's not it. What is this thing? Oh, you're not a great one. Yeah, a terrible one, though. Okay, so first things first, before we forget, we'll go ahead and play another swamp with the same art. And I got some thinking to do here because...
You think hard. You think long and hard.
I mean, I straight up can't block next turn. So what can I have that can remove? Nothing. Do you need an extra turn to do anything? Am I looking at lethal next turn? So there's 7, assuming nothing else happens. Well, at least one thing will happen. You got
So
one counter.
8, 9, 10, 11.
11 plus you get the 1 counter.
Plus the 1 counter, yeah.
12. Can I pump any of my guys so that they can block? No. Can I remove? They're all good cards. None of them really saved me, though. And on that one, I'm actually, believe it or not, I am a blue mana off of 2 blue. Because this thing only does zombies, not spells.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. So, well, in the end, I just want zombies. Zombies is what I want.
Zombies is what you want, sir.
So we're going to go black, X equal to 4. To cast Dread Summons. Each player mills X cards. For each creature card put in your graveyard this way, I create a tapped, not that it could block anyway, 2/2 black zombie creature token.
So X cards, what's the X amount?
X is 4.
4.
There's that island I really needed. There's another island I really needed. There's a zombie. All right, I got 2 creature cards. How many do you get?
2 creature cards. I got 2 creature cards, an instant, and a land.
I got 4 off that.
That's a pretty good spell.
They're all tapped and
Now playing
can't
regular
block
commander
anyway.
as well too. That would just get bonkers.
I like my zombies. I got lots of them.
You got lots of them.
Could have been a short one.
Another
Yeah,
zombie?
you could use the old, put down a thing and do it. Wow, I really actually ran out of zombie tokens quicker than I thought I would. So I guess I'll have to use a dice to represent
2 zombies on one of them.
2.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
I like that I put 2 islands in that bin, though, and I needed one island to maybe make things different. But notably, I did get a zombie in my graveyard. It doesn't do much at this point, but who knows?
Could be useful.
All right. Well, they can't block. You can eat them both in combat. I can sacrifice one at the end of combat to draw a card. All right, so I got to really just... I'm going to do that. I'm going to go to the end of turn. I will sacrifice one of my tapped guys.
Mine as well, right?
Because then I do get a... Whoa, hey! It's a card trick there. I get an untapped one. And I draw a card. Okay, so I need to get super lucky that either the Champion of Lambhold has a heart condition he didn't acknowledge and dies, or you can't add 3 power to the attack. I think, if my math is right.
My turn?
Get ready for a crackback, though, if not.
Okay. Draw. I'm going to go ahead and play a plane. So you can create a zombie.
Right, well, can I?
Then I'm going to do some fun stuff, I guess. Tap for 2, a green and a white, as well as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more.
That's a lot of mana.
Oh, I should untap these guys as well, too.
Are you sure that Champion I'm holding like a congenital heart thing? That just...
well, you may have a heart attack now. Trostani Summoner. Cost 7. It's a 1/1, but when it enters the battlefield, I create a 2/2 white knight creature, a 3/3 with vigilance, a 3/3 centaur creature token, and a 4/4 rhino creature token with trample. So that is going to be 4 individual creature entering the battlefield effects, which is going to make this have a additional 4 counters on it. So 6 and 7. So now this is an 8/8. This as well too, because this entered the battlefield, which had no effect on the Gyre Sage. The white knight creature had no effect, but then the centaur creature, followed by the rhino creature, both would have put counters on this. So that becomes even more. I'm going to go grab the tokens, which are
they give you
over
tokens
here. So a elephant, I believe, was one. Nope. Wrong creature. There's the white knight. There's the centaur, and there's the rhino.
Centaur doesn't have haste, though?
No.
Doesn't matter, but I mean...
So then, because this makes it so that creatures power lower than Champion Lambhold can't block creatures I control, which seems crazy to me, I'm just going to go ahead and swing in for 4, 5, 9, 29, sorry, 17.
But I have so many zombies. Ironically, most of them can't block anyway, but I could even chump in most certain situations, just not.
It's a good thing we didn't make this the best 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
Because, man, we were running out of time. What we are going to do, I think, because I would really like Travis to be able to play his deck a little bit longer.
I got to do zombies, like.
Yes. But I think, did you want to do maybe a bonus game?
Oh yeah, I'm down for it.
Okay, so what we're going to do is, we're going to just do a bonus game. Technically not a 2 out of 3 game, but we're going to do a bonus game. We're going to give you an extra showing of this because this seemed super quick. No, I'm not trying to rub it in, but it seems super quick. So we're going to be back with a brand new game right after this. And we're back with the second game in our best out of 1 series. So
I get a pity game. Come on, give me a break here.
I think it's just for fun. That was super quick, and why give myself a break when it comes to editing? And I know the folks at home typically like longer games to watch as well. So our hands are currently being displayed. Travis is going to get to go first. We're not going to roll because of his loss. So in that way, we're still going to go by the regular rules, unless you wanted to.
No, it doesn't matter in this game, but I think another 1v1 rule is Sol Ring banned in 1v1?
So I did check that, and I couldn't see it unless I missed it on the ban list. I
don't have it.
I didn't actually see it on the ban list now. I think at one point, I think it was, but I think they've now since changed that because this should be in... Yeah, this ban list appears to be in alphabetical order, and Sol Ring is not on it. So, I mean, that's good, right? Yeah. So we're technically not cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah, technically.
No. I don't have it in hand. I have something similar. So
okay.
I was like, hey, is that other one banned?
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about, but maybe I'll be surprised.
Maybe.
You do get to go first, though.
Okay.
So
I'm going to draw a Sol Ring. If I did, I'd throw it right down. No, but I did draw I do have a command tower. It's just your best.
Yeah.
I mean, best turn one is obviously that into Sol Ring.
Yeah.
But I don't have Sol Ring.
It's
I keep talking about it, right? He's probably really nervous. He's like, I'm just
That's
messing
what I
with
thought
him.
it was. I'm like,
Yeah,
this game is going to suck. This game is really going to suck.
Keeps bringing it up, right? I do not have a Sol Ring or a turn one play, so I passed you.
Okay, so my turn. I'm going to draw. I am going to play Myriad Landscape, which is going to enter the battlefield tapped. I can tap it for 1 colorless. I can pay 2, sacrifice it, search my library for up to 2 basic land cards that share a land type, put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle it. So, yeah, there we go.
So, yeah.
Tapped. Pass to you. Deal with it. Deal with it.
Draw. Oh, speaking of. No, it's not, it's not Sol Ring. I'm going to play a swamp.
Nice.
I will tap these 2 for not Sol Ring, but Arcane Signet.
Yeah, very nice card. Which used to be crazy expensive until they started basically making it like an evergreen card in every single commander deck. Yeah.
It is hilarious how many copies of it are, but still, I mean, if you probably wouldn't buy it, at least in Canada, it probably wouldn't cost less than $5.
Yeah.
I would think. I honestly haven't checked for a while because I got enough other ones going.
I actually, because I had several of them from past games, and I ended up selling a few of them when they were crazy price. So I made out pretty well on those cards. So
did you keep at least one?
Oh yeah, I kept several because I wanted one in definitely one of my commander decks, and I also kept it for a couple other decks just in case it was to.
Well, what I wonder if I'm talking like long run here. This has nothing to do with the game. If the ones from the first ones ever created for Throne of Eldraine Brawl, I wonder if those specific ones might be worth a lot.
And those are the ones that I have now as well too, right? So I mean that would work out great if that's the case. So
I'll tap this for Sol Ring. No, I'm just kidding. I'm done making Sol Ring jokes. back
to me. Okay. Yeah. Alrighty, so I'm going to play a Path of Ancestry. I can enter the battlefield tapped. I can tap it for 1 mana of any color in my commander's identity. When that mana is spent to cast a creature spell that shares a creature type with your commander, scry 1. So I can enter tap now. The creature types, it's a human noble. So if I cast either a human or a noble, I will get to scry 1 if I'm using mana from the old Path of Ancestry.
I would have thought shaman or warlock or something. You know?
Yeah, she's pretty noble. I would have thought, I would like warlock, witch, something, right? Because I thought she is supposed to be like a coven. I thought that was witchery.
Yeah, the whole point, yeah.
Yeah. I will pass the turn out to you.
Alrighty. Untap. Draw. Oh, that card. So my land for turn will be Tainted Isle. Tainted Isle is an 8/1. It's tap for colorless or tap for black or blue. Activate only if you control a swamp. So that taps for blue or black too. Now I can straight up roll up my commander here.
Straight up now, tell me.
Which I think is the play to make here. Yeah, we're going to do that. We'll do that.
Sure.
Tap him for 4, 1 of blue, 1 of black, 1 of thing for Willith the Rock Cleaver, who's apparently just a really sad man stud. No, because it came with a little insert, and he thought he was the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
Apparently it was a guy, and then I can't remember how it went. He tried to impress Gisa.
Oh, okay.
Whatever, and then he died, and then she raised him up again, so now he's like constantly trying to create an army to impress her, apparently.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's this really sad story about he's like, I think I'm good looking and everything, and I want to impress this girl. Yeah. Super sad.
It is sad. Sad story.
Like, I'm glad you included a story in that for this commander or Wizards of the Coast. Thank you, I guess.
Alright, so I'm going to play a forest. Get a tap for 3. And I'm going to bring out Somberwald Sage. It's a 0/1 human druid. I can add 3 mana of any 1 color. Spend this mana only to cast creature spells. Now, because it shares a creature type, right, with my commander, I get to scry 1. Put that back on top.
Uh-oh.
So, so tap it, add 3 mana of any 1 color, spend this mana only to cast creature spells.
3 mana?
Yep. Pass the turn to you.
Dang.
Dang indeed, sir.
That is a lot of mana. Okay. Speaking of a lot of mana, I gotta time this just right here. So tap that for colorless for his Soul Ring. I just ripped up the top. I swear I did just rip it up the top.
I know. Why wouldn't you have cast it earlier? Right?
Fair enough. Okay, there you go. There's logic supporting I'm not an asshole. And then we're going to tap that and tap that to throw out the Fleshbag Marauder.
Ooh.
When he enters the battlefield, each player sacrifices a creature.
Oh, you lucky son of a bee.
So he will sacrifice himself. When a creature zombie dies, I do get to create a 2/2
Nice.
with Decayed.
Yeah.
Now, after all that, I still have 2 mana left with nothing to do with it. But, just to be a jerk, I'll swing my commander at you. Yeah, he can attack too,
Yeah,
you know.
that's right. That's right. I take 4?
3?
3. Okay.
It's a 3/3.
It's a 27. Okay, down to 27. Nice.
Now, do I want to sack that guy at the end of combat? You know what? We'll do it. We'll sack that guy at the end of combat, or at the end of end step.
Yeah.
And draw a card. So, like, obviously, if I pulled a land off that and had my land drop, which I haven't,
You wouldn't be able to play it. Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to play it. So.
But you still got you got a lot of mana
I
sources
got,
there.
yeah, I'm lucky in that sense. What would you?
And I just feel good that I'm not having to create a zombie for you every single time I put down a land. So I feel a little bit better about putting down land. I'm going to play a forest. I'm going to tap the Path of Ancestry for white. And I'm going to tap Myriad Landscape for one of whatever. I'm going to play the Wall of Mourning. Now, it's a wall creature, so I do not get to scry. It's got Defender. When Wall of Mourning enters the battlefield, exile a card from the top of my library face down for each opponent you have. So it's just going to be 1. Coven. At the beginning of your end step, if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, put a card exiled with Wall of Mourning into its owner's hand. So I'm going to exile this face down. But I do get to look at it.
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain. Okay, there we go. And that is going to be my turn. So I got a 0/4 wall.
All right. I'll untap.
I'm actually going to tuck that under there just so we can
Draw. And I'll play an island. So I can tap that for black, and I can tap that for black. I can tap that for 2 of anything. I'm going to cast enchantment. No, it's not that same one. This one is called Endless Ranks of the Dead. At the beginning of your upkeep, create X 2/2 black zombie creature tokens, where X is half the number of zombies you control, rounded down. These are the cards that are in this deck that I've really wanted all the time, so I'm glad they kind of came. I can't remember what that one was at.
Now that's upkeep, so I don't have to worry about it until the next turn?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Good.
Were you going to clear my board or something? Like,
No.
And then we'll tap that for black, that for black, and that for anything. For the Death Baron. Skeletons you control and other zombies you control get +1/+1 and have Death Touch. He's a zombie wizard. So now this guy's a 4/4
with Death Touch.
Death Touch.
Nice.
And he's swinging in.
He's swinging in. Yeah, I'm going to take the 4.
What? Come on, you got a wall. What's the whole point of having a wall?
I kind of like the card that I exiled with it, to be honest. Not that I should tell you that, but I really like the card that I exiled with it.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping one day to put that back in my hand.
Past you while I put the old mysterious dice on top for upkeep reminding.
Draw. I'm going to play a forest. Now that's other. That's other,
Yeah,
right?
so he does not have Death Touch.
Okay. Death Touch could be bad for me.
But if I do start pumping out, 2/2 zombies, they will have Death Touch.
Indeed, sir. Interesting. Oh, man, I am in such a rock and a hard place here. Yeah. I mean, I can bring out my commander, but weirdly enough, I think this is more important for me to hold on to my mana for the time being. So I'm just going to pass the turn to you.
All right. In a beginning of your upkeep, create X 2/2 black zombies. I only have 2, so X will only be basically 1.
Okay, excellent.
It's half. Untap.
But that has Death Touch.
And +1/+1.
And +1/+1. Man alive. At least it's got Summoning Sickness too, so.
Yeah. Draw, return, play a swamp. Before anything else, play that swamp. So I have mana. we're gonna tap that for black, that for anything, to cast the Diregraph Colossus.
Okay.
When he enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter for each zombie in my graveyard, I actually just have the one. So it's
Okay.
3/3. Whenever I cast a zombie spell, I get to create a 2/2 black zombie creature token.
Man.
Tapped.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not even a zombie.
Good.
You're a human warlock.
Thank goodness.
What are you even doing here, you?
Human Warlock. I'm now going into my Mind Palace to try to remember what Human Warlock is in that deck. Can't find it.
That's good. This guy's a zombie. I'm going to attempt to do this. So 2 black. Oh no, I think I'm 1 off of doing that.
Yeah, I think you are too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that
Definitely.
is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes.
Oh man, I was so hoping you'd be able to do that.
I was kind of hoping.
Oh well.
Oh well, we'll just
don't do anything. Just pass. You can pass the turn. That is an option.
There's 3 for Liliana's Devotee. Zombies you control get +1/+0. So now they get +2/+0 in total and death touch. At the beginning of my end step, if a creature died this turn, I may pay 1 black and 1 remaining. If I do, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token.
Okay.
So he is now a 5/4. He is a 3/2. You have mana. Probably involves sacrificing creatures that are attacking.
You don't know me. You don't know me.
You have summoning sickness. We're gonna just are we gonna pass a turn and give you easily a free turn essentially? Well, I did a little bit of board building. Yeah, we're going to pass this 1 turn and regret it later.
On your end step, I'm going to tap for 2 to tap and sacrifice Mirrored Landscape to search my library for 2 basic land cards, which are land type, put them on the battlefield tapped, and shuffle.
Where's that curse now?
So there's a Plains, which is what I wanted, and a Plains, because those both share types. Shuffle, because damn the rules, folks. Gots to shuffle. Now, it's funny because when we play regular games, like non-commander games, we're always like, we've hit the, magical land of 4th landy or 3rd landy, because then usually decks can kick off. So now I'm going to untap, grab this, and now I'm going to utter the phrase, and now we reach the magical land of 7th landia. Finally. Because, man,
Finally?
These decks have some expensive cards. I'm going to tap for
7.
7. That's 7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7. Full on 7. And I'm going to create... I'm going to cast Somberwalled Beastmaster. When it enters the battlefield, I create a 2/2 green wolf creature token, a 3/3 beast creature token, a 4/4 beast creature token as well too. Multiple beasts. Okay, whatever. Creature tokens you control have death touch.
Oh, a lot of cross death touch going on here.
Yes. Little death touch on death touch action. So I know I got. There's the wolf. Just straight up beasts we're looking for. We're just looking for beasts, Travis. Nothing but beasts. 3/3 beast, 4/4 beast. It's just really, that seems dismissive to call this fellow a beast, because he seems to have a lot more going on than simply being a beast,
Exactly.
right?
Random eyes and heads going on. Like,
okay, so that's going to be my whole turn. The commander is not on the battlefield. It's off to the side here, just so you guys know there's a divide here. Move to my end step. Now, at the beginning of my end step, if I control 3 or more creatures with different powers, put a card exiled with Wall of Mourning into its owner's hand. So I now get to put this into my hand,
which
because
was apparently a pretty good card.
Coven done hit. Alrighty. That is my turn. I'm going to pass the turn now to you.
Okie dokie. We're untapping. Oh, pardon me. Before that, upkeep trigger on the Endless Ranks of the Dead. I'm just going to put that on there. And I got half as many zombies. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll create 2 tapped. 2 zombies. Are they tapped? Zombie token for X's. Doesn't say tapped. Beginning of your upkeep, create X 2/2 black zombie creature tokens where X is half the number. So they're not tapped. Which doesn't matter because I'm going to need blockers. And then I put them down tapped. Untap. I guess that's why it doesn't bother saying tapped. Because if it's a beginning or upkeep... No, untap, upkeep, draw. Yeah.
Yeah.
That all checks out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll start with that. We'll tap 1, 2, 3. Actual tap 1, 2, and 3, 4. To cast Corpse Augur. When Corpse Augur dies, you draw X cards and you lose X life, where X is the number of creature cards in that target player's graveyard. He is a zombie spell, so he will trigger the Diagraph Colossus, and this guy will be tapped. I'm running out of zombie room here.
You'd actually just be called like 80s death metal band names. That's all it is. Because all those like Death Augur, Dread Baron, or Darth Baron, Death Baron.
Okay, so we're going to go to combat.
Okay.
So these two were created this turn. These three were.
Yes.
Yeah. You're giving him +1/+0. You're giving him Death Touch. You're letting me cast more. It's the problem. You get such value off these zombies.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to just throw them under the bus.
Yeah.
So I got like one zombie I can openly attack with. That's not awesome. It's not awesome.
But it's got Death Touch.
It does have. It's a 4/3 zombie with Death Touch.
Yeah.
And you have 1/1, 2/2, 3/3, 4/4, and 0/4.
Yeah. And the tokens have Death Touch. Currently. It's a sticky pickle.
It is. There's some sticky picklesness going on here.
I mean, among the stickiest of pickles, this is not the stickiest pickle, but it's a sticky pickle.
Those are 3 of the 4 people that did not have Death Touch.
These 3 don't have Death Touch?
Or they did not have Summoning Sickness.
This one doesn't have Death Touch, right?
This one does not have Death Touch.
Death Touch. But it is currently a 3/2.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to put... So it's Death Touch on Death Touch action, right? So
Yeah.
I'm going to put that like this so that there's an outside chance this survives, because it's a 4/4 going against a 3/2, but we'll see if that's the case or not.
Yeah.
But these both have Death Touch, 2/2, 3/3, 4/4, blocking in that order.
Okay.
Combat damage?
Combat damage.
Okay. So these die, obviously, because Death Touch against Death Touch.
Yeah. He dies. So, I've had 3 zombies die that did not have the kid.
Yes.
So I'm going to create 3. 1, 2.
Now those can't block, which is the one saving grace of them for me anyways, but still, scary board. Scary board.
Okay. Now for a black and a black, I'm going to cast Gorex, the Tomb Shell. So what's going to happen here, because I got to do some, it's almost like double delving.
Oh no.
So it's normally 8 mana,
Okay.
but an additional cost to casting spell, I may exile any number of creature cards from my graveyard. This spell costs 2 less to cast for each of those cards.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I will exile 3 creature cards.
Okay. So it's going to cost just 2 black.
2 black, yeah.
Okay.
Whenever Gorex the Tortoise Shell attacks or dies, choose a card at random, exile from Gorex, and put it into my hand.
Oh, nice. So you actually have a chance of getting those back. That's great.
Yeah.
That's like a much better Wall of Mourning.
So it's attacks or dies.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Then he's a zombie turtle, so he does get +1/+1, +1/+0, but no Death Touch. But he himself has Death Touch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
We're going to go to my end step,
Okay.
and I'm going to sacrifice. At the beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice a zombie if you draw a card. I'm going to sacrifice Corpse Augur. Oh, I've got that entirely wrong. For whatever reason, I thought Corpse Augur was based off of zombies I control. No, it's based off of cards in my graveyard, which I just exiled away. So basically, it's 0 right now.
Okay.
So I'm not going to sacrifice him. I'm going to sacrifice you. You can't block anyway. But if I sacrifice you, who can't block anyway, I get another you. So I'm going to sacrifice my tapped 2/2 black zombie.
To create an untapped.
Draw, and then I'll create an untapped.
Nice.
All that happened.
That just happened.
Now, I'm also going to tap a black, anything. At the beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, you may pay 2. If you do, create a 2/2 black summon creature token. It's all beginning of end step.
Nice.
So you still have the end of my end step, but this guy is tapped. Nope, if you create a 2/2 black summon creature token, who's not tapped. Because they're double-sided tokens.
Yeah.
All right. Now, your turn.
Which is giving them death touch again. I can't remember.
He's dead.
He's dead. Okay, good.
But he himself actually does have
Death touch. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. My turn.
Yeah.
Okay. So untap. Draw.
Like I could have sacrificed Gorex and gotten a 1 in 3 chance of getting that card back at the end of that turn, but
Exotic Orchard. So I can add mana of any one color that a land an opponent controls could produce. So basically, tapping this is just for colorless. But still, it is a land. It is a land source. That brings me to 8.
So curious about your land count.
Okay, so 8, huh? So what I need to do is a white and a green, and then 1, 2, 3, so 5 in total, to cast Sigarda, Heron's Grace. It's a 4/5 angel. It's got flying. You and humans I control have hexproof. I can pay 2, exile a card from my graveyard, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. So that's a flyer, which I think might be useful in this. It is not a human itself, though, so it does not get hexproof from itself. I then think I'm going to tap this for white, this for green, and this for whatever.
Was Sigarda the one under your wall?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the one I really wanted to keep. I'm going to cast Dawnheart Wardens. It's a 3/3 with Vigilance. It's a human warlock, and I did tap Path of Ancestry, so I will scry. Before I do that, it has Coven. At the beginning of my combat on my turn, if I control 3 or more creatures with different powers, creatures I control get +1/+0 until the end of turn. So I've got 4, 0, 1, and so I got, currently have Coven. I don't think I'm going to attack quite yet because, the beast, my tokens have Death Touch. But still, you've got plenty of stuff to do some blocking here. So I think what I'm just going to do is I'm going to scry. And I think I'm going to put that on the bottom. Okay. And I think... So human currently have hexproof because of Heron's Grace. Yeah, I'm going to pass turn to you.
Okay. I'm going to untap. Upkeep. Trigger on the Endless Ranks of the Dead. So I'm going to create... There's 9 zombies. I'm going to create 4 2/2 zombies that will have Summoning Sickness. So, unfortunately, we got to do this thing. Because I think I'm out of tokens again. Oh, no, there's some here. You're a treasure. This is kind of annoying to have to okay. Yes.
There. Okay.
So they're going to create 4 untapped but Summoning Sickness 3/2 zombies because of the Warlock.
So those are the only ones that have Summoning Sickness, the ones with 4.
Yeah. Draw for turn. Nah, you're something, but you're not super awesome. So I think we're going to go to combat in 2 seconds.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yes.
Take your time. You got a lot to think about.
Obviously the +1/+1 Death Touch would have been sweet, but, I wanted to create more tokens, and there was enough synergy in him dying. So let's just hope we get him back, right? So we're going to attack with Gorex.
Okay.
And who's actually a 5/4 because of Leanna's Devotee.
And then all those With decay. Okay.
With decay. Because I got 4 there. You know what? I don't even know if that's the proper number, but this is what we're going with.
And then all the zombies are getting +1/+0 from the one guy.
+1/+0, yeah.
What is his death trigger?
Well, actually, part of his attack trigger, I believe. Whenever Gorex Tomb Shell attacks or dies, choose a card at random, exile with Gorex, and put that card in your hand. So first off, we have the attack trigger.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
So at random, I'm going to choose that one.
Okay.
So when he dies or attacks again, I'll get another card into my hand.
Okay. Okay. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put my beast, because it's the only token creature I have right now, in front of your
Gorex.
5/4. I'm going to put Wall of Mourning in front of one of the ones that doesn't have decay.
Okay.
And I'm going to put the Beastmaster in front of one of your ones that doesn't have decay as well, too.
Okay.
So I'm blocking this. Looks like still 8 damage?
12.
No, 12 damage. That's right, because they're all 3/2s. Okay. Any shenanigans?
No shenanigans at this point.
That puts me down to 11, man. That's not good.
So he dies because it's a 3/2 and a 1/1.
Yes.
Yes. He bounces off.
He bounces off.
He dies, and he dies.
And he dies, yeah.
So I do get a return at random one of these 2 cards.
Yes.
Randoming it up. Choose that one. So this one is exiled. I guess
Yes.
we now, if it's exiled, it goes like that. It's the frickin' Death Baron. And I can't even get him back. These dudes all bing, bing, bing die.
Yeah.
I do get a 1 off of him whenever a non-token zombie
Yes.
dies. So I do get... That makes that easy. Okay. So that all happened in combat. You took some damage. His thing doesn't...
Took a lot of damage, actually. Down to 11.
So it doesn't affect that. There's that word again. So what I will do now is play Mortuary Mire for my land. When Mortuary Mire enters the battlefield, it enters the battlefield tapped, and I put a target creature card from my graveyard on top of my library. So that's the only one in there right now.
Cool.
I mean, I might have actually wanted him in my graveyard, but he's also there. So now my voice is once again cracking. I have the choices. Now, can I do both? That's the real question. To do both, I would need 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nowhere near. Nowhere near. So I do this. This is what I'm doing. Because I want to do this. I mean,
You got to do it then. You got to do it. 1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. To cast a curse.
Ooh.
Curse of Unbinding. Enchant player. At the beginning of enchanted player's upkeep, that player reveals cards on top of their library until they reveal a creature card. Put that card onto the battlefield under your control. That player puts the rest of the revealed cards into their graveyard.
Wow, that could be crazy because there are some crazy creatures in this deck.
So it happens at your upkeep.
Okay.
Enchanted player's upkeep. Okay. So we are next going to move to my end step when I have 2 triggers.
Okay.
So the first one is him.
Okay.
I can choose to sacrifice a creature.
Okay.
Which I do. And draw a card. And then create a 2/2. Second is if a creature died this turn, which a bunch did, I may pay 2, which I will, and create a 2/2 black zombie creature token.
But not with decay.
Not with decay. Just
Okay.
a regular old zombie.
Man.
That all happened. That was a lot. I think I've remembered all my triggers, have some cards to look at here, and I pass to you.
Okay, so now to start with, beginning of Enchanted Player's upkeep, I'm going to reveal cards top of my library until I reveal a creature card. So Unbreakable Formation.
Not a creature card, but I'm glad that's
now,
gone.
now these are being revealed, so they're going to go back on top, right? So
No, they go under at the bottom of your... No, they're milled.
Put that card onto the battlefield in control. That player puts the rest of the revealed cards into their graveyard.
It's milling.
So it's... Okay, so Wild Beastmaster. is a creature. It's a 1/1, thank goodness. And whenever it attacks, each other creature you control gets +X in the end of turn, where X is Wild Beastmaster's power.
Oh.
So
I'll just make some room for him over here.
so there you go.
Yeah.
You got her. And then Unbreakable Formation is going to go into my graveyard. So it's my turn?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Dokie. Artichoke.
Now, how do I buff her power up so I can just go in for the swarm?
Interesting. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, huh? I can do that and that. Okay, so I'm going to pay a white, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, good. 6. So I'm playing Moorland Rescuer. It is a human, so I tap Path of Ancestry to play it, so I'm going to get to Scry in a second. It's a 4/4.
We'll get to that.
When it dies, return any number of other creature cards with power X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is Moorland Rescuer's power. Exile Moorland Rescuer. So that happened.
That's command. Oh, don't forget to Scry.
And I get to Scry, yes. I can do a Scry, yes.
I love that about command. Like, there's that one trigger. We'll get to that in a second. Let me finish this one card before I get to that one. Because there's so much going on.
Oh, Travis, do I want this?
Is it going to put 20 blockers? Or...
Oh, you know what? It's just going to end up going into my...
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I do want that because it's just going to end up going to my graveyard anyways if it's not a creature, right?
I was about to say, so it's a crap creature or a no creature?
It's just a creature that I'm going to, this way I can...
Elvish Mystic. I don't know, though.
Alrighty. So that's my turn. Now this has Vigilance, but there's no sense swinging in, I don't think, even though... I mean, okay, so I have Coven triggers, but just one. At the beginning of combat of my turn, if I control 3 or more creatures with different powers, which I do, creatures you control get +1/+0 into them turn. So that's not really doing me any good. So instead, I'm just going to pass the turn to you.
Okay. Untap. How much mana do you have left untapped anyway?
2.
Okay. Upkeep. We have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I'll create 5 zombies.
Yes, indeed.
All right. Do one of these two have... Yes. Okay. 5 of these dudes with Summoning Sickness. They're not tapped, though. So many cards say zombies come in tapped that it gets a little confusing.
Yeah.
That's not me being a jerk either. It's
No,
legit.
no, it's legit.
Okay, I'm going to move both my artifacts over here.
In fact, some might say it's too legit.
Hey. All right. So that was upkeep. Now I draw for turn.
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to start with... Like, I'm pretty sure I have this. But...
Hey, man.
He's not exactly throwing the towel in, so this isn't me being a jerk and like, look what I can do.
You do what you can do.
All right, well, then we'll start with the Sol Ring, and that. For the Diregraph Colossus, there's nothing in my graveyard, but from now on, whenever I cast zombie, I get a 2/2 zombie. So we're going to then 1, 2, 3 to cast that Fleshbag Marauder. Because this actually might matter, because you got to sack a blocker. I will sack one of these 2/2s, which ironically will end up creating another.
Okay, I'm going to tap for 2 to exile Unbreakable Formation to create a 1/1 human creature token in response to that.
Yeah, you would, wouldn't you?
Do I not have? Oh, yeah, I got 1. Forgot, there is 1. So create that, and then I'm going to sacrifice it.
So you never underestimate the ability to instant speed create a token.
Yeah. So I don't think that messes up the math.
No,
in total.
He's gonna give everybody +1. He's gonna give him +1. So there's a lot of power.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna flunge because math is for blockers.
Okay, so because it's attacking and its power is 1, it's giving everything plus X. So your zombies, because they're already getting an additional plus X to their power,
Or 4 power.
are 4 power. So I can block a total of 4 creatures in total. Now, 4 power represents the highest power for the most part that you have. So even if I were to block 4 power creatures, you still have at least 4 other blockers, or 4 other attackers, right?
Significantly, yes.
3 other.
1,
you only
2,
need
3,
3.
4,
You only
5,
need 3
6,
more.
7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
Well, these 4, or let's say they're blocked, but really it would be this block, this block. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that I had so much expensive stuff that was good. Like this, when I hit 7 land, I thought, okay, this is going to be really good. And then I realized I kind of screwed up because I blocked with the 1/1 because I was thinking, oh, just throwing away, forgetting that he would have given token creatures Death Touch. Which would have been such a useful. I don't think it would have made a difference. Like in the end,
No,
I think it might have made me last
wide, not...
one more turn.
Yeah.
And I did have one of these cards in this deck. The 1/1s that come in with a 2/2, a 3/3, and a 4/4. There's at least 4 of them in this deck, I think. And they're crazy. Like when they can go off, they're nuts, especially when they work with Coven. Didn't get my commander out once. No. This, weirdly enough, made a huge difference, even though it ended up being a 1/1. It was a pretty powerful. I'm just curious what the next creature would have been. Oh, and this is what I was hoping for. Something like Celestial Judgment.
Yeah.
Like, something that could end the but that would have gone to the graveyard. Wow. I would have milled a lot.
That dude there who created like the whole bunch of tokens, I guess the other guy is the same way. That's an ETB, right? When they enter the battlefield, you create those tokens?
Yeah.
Now, I've never played a blink deck where you got to like blink something and re-enter the battlefield, but man, in a blink
something
deck,
like that, just it is flickering in and out sort of thing. You would have gotten Sigarda's Vanguards, flash, flying, 3/3, and when it enters the battlefield or attacks, choose any number of creatures with different powers. Those creatures gain double strike in a turn. So that would have things would have only gotten worse for me. So now here's the thing, folks. This is not a best 2 out of 3.
No,
we did 2 games in order to showcase it, and. You could say, hey, well, then why not just play a third game and make it a best 2 out of 3?
Because that third game would end up being
4 hours long.
It would draw everything out, tokens versus tokens.
So this is what we're going to do. Let us know in the comment section if you guys would like to see a third and deciding game of this. Normally, once we play something like this, we move on. We don't really revisit it again type of thing. But if you guys want a third game which would decide this as a best 2 out of 3, let us know in the comment section. And if enough people are like, yeah, that's something we would definitely want to see, then we'll go ahead and we'll produce a third and deciding game, which could be 20 minutes. It could be an hour long, right? I actually thought this one was going to stall it a little bit longer than it did. So I got mixed feelings about how in the end, almost abruptly it ended. But the exponentially being able to create zombies at the beginning of your turn is killer. But let us know if this is something you want to see, or if you guys are satisfied with the fact that, hey, got a couple good games, got to see a good showing from both of the decks now, then that's perfectly fine as well too, and we will definitely move on. Goodness knows we have more than enough other Magic videos that we can end up doing. Speaking of which, the next video that we're going to be doing that involves the Mana Cave is going to be, we're moving on to the 2019 Challenger Deck Showdown, and it will be Final Adventure. If you're wondering why I'm looking off screen, it's because they're behind Travis' shoulder.
See them.
Final Adventure and Flash of Ferocity are going to square off against each other. Travis is going to be playing Final Adventure because I'm a dictator, and I'm telling him that for the first time he is. After that, there will be Cavalcade Charge versus Allied Fires, and I think you guys can all guess who's going to be playing which of those. So, Travis, anything else you'd like to say?
My tokens are bent.
Don't get me started.
But they're not foil. I don't get it. I got the foil thing.
One thing I've never done on the show, we've ranted when we've played. I've never done just like a rant video. And even then, I don't think I would necessarily make it like a rant video. I would try to make it as methodical and thought out as possible. But I have really been tempted to, as someone who really doesn't even collect cards anymore, I've been really tempted to go after this curling of not just foil cards, though there's that, but also some of the regular cards. For a game where collectability is huge, and also the fact that it's affected tournament play. There's been cards which only come in foil format that people have tried to put in decks during tournaments. Now, I realize those are dwindling now because of everything that's going on, and they got disqualified because the player playing them could see the foiled card bending their deck. And it's unfortunate for the player who's playing it because they had no choice. It's only came in foil at that point, but at the same time, it's also not fair for the opponent because if the opponent can look across and go, I can see that card, then it's not fair for them to play against. So the idea of the fact that a company which makes paper cards,
one job,
collectible paper cards, has not fixed this bending issue after a decade of this issue happening is stupid beyond belief. And now that I've destroyed any chance of a Magic sponsorship, anything else you'd like to say?
No.
No? Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And again, let us know if this is something that you want to see us to sort of finish off the rubber match or not. So take care, and I'll see you all in the next video.